I interned with the RMIT Sports Academy. So it was myself and another intern, and we were to be responsible for making video and audio content to be posted to their social channels. So highlight reels of the games, podcast interviews, that kind of thing. So we covered men's and women's basketball, tennis, AFL, and esports. Well, they were the main ones at least. Like I said, that was the plan to cover those. But unfortunately, a week into the season, coronavirus hit, and all sports were cancelled. So it was kind of difficult to make content about sport when there was no sport running. But fortunately, being unpaid interns, they were able to keep us on just to make whatever content we could. And although it was a challenge, I'm glad it did, because it led me to exercise certain skills that I wouldn't have otherwise done. So something I did well. So just before the season was set to start, the Big V basketball team had a media day. So the players would come in, get their photos taken, do a meet and greet with some school kids, and be interviewed by myself and the other intern. What I had to do over the course of several hours was interview every player. So from both the men's and the women's teams, we had them all lined up. We were to do 1 to 2 minute interviews with each of them, and then I was supposed to cut that down to post. It was really tough because I consider myself not a great interviewer. I don't really know what questions to ask. I interrupt too much, I turn it into a conversation. So I was really worried that my interviewing skills would kind of ruin it. So I'll be the first one to say my interviewing skills, not that great. But having to do 30, 35 plus interviews in a day, it really helped me get over it because I didn't have time to overthink the questions or worry about myself. I just had to bang them out, get every single one done. And I didn't realize what I'd done up until I finished, and I took a step back and I watched some of the footage, and I was genuinely really impressed with how well I'd done. The interviews themselves were really good. The players were really funny and insightful and great to get to know better. The internship supervisor was actually really happy with what I'd done. I was really looking forward to getting it all cut down and posted. Unfortunately, due to coronavirus, season couldn't go ahead, and you can't really post a video about players looking forward to the upcoming season if there is no season. So unfortunately, those videos won't see the light of day, but I'm still proud of how my interviewing skills progressed on that day. So quarantine has stopped all sport and unnecessary physical interaction from occurring, which meant that we couldn't visit players or visit coaches to do face-to-face interviews. So the way we got around that was that we'd use Zoom. So we'd call them up on Zoom, have a chat to them that way, do the interview, and then use Zoom's record function to get the video, then I could edit it down to be posted. Doing a few interviews that way, we found out that the video and audio quality, due to people's internet connections and having shoddy webcams and stuff like that, the quality of the video was terrible, but it was our only option, so that's all we had. So my internship supervisor and the other intern I was working with didn't seem too disturbed by the terrible quality, because it was all we had to work with and it was just the best we had. But me personally, it disturbed me quite a bit. Like, I knew I had to find a way to fix it. So I had to use my problem solving and my critical thinking skills to kind of find a way to work around the problem that didn't involve changing anybody's hardware or their software or fixing other people's internet connection, because that stuff was all out of my hands. So I had to find a way to get around it. So I tried a number of options to get around the problem. I tried using other video communication platforms like Microsoft Teams or Skype. Didn't work. Tried moving my computer closer to the router. It didn't work. I tried using a different webcam. Nothing worked. It was always terrible. And the actual solution was so much more simple than that. What we did was we would interview the person normally over Zoom, but instead of recording the interview from Zoom's actual camera, I would get the interviewee to sort of set their camera up in front of their phone so we got a nice view of them, and so we'd still be talking over Zoom, but the actual footage would be captured on somebody's phone camera, which is infinitely better than any webcam. So using my critical thinking and problem solving skills, I found a way to get much better audio and video from our interviewees. My internship supervisor was actually really impressed that I found a way to solve a problem that looked so complex on the surface with a relatively simple solution.